Welcome to FCP Conversations Online, featuring Bucks County nonprofit leaders. Join our discussion with community organizations that share our mission and are making a difference in the lives of our neighbors.
Hello, I'm Ron Bernstein, the Executive Director of Foundations Community Partnership. Welcome to FCP Conversations Online, and thank you for joining us. Our guest today is Zane Moore, the President and CEO of the Lower and Central Bucks YMCA. Zane, welcome, and thanks for being with us today.
Thanks, Ron. Thanks for having me.
Central Bucks YMCA, significant organization here in Bucks County, does a lot of great things. But for people who don't quite know the history, could you give us a little update on when did this all get started?
Sure. So last year, 2016, we just had our 50-year anniversary. So we threw a huge party for ourselves. It started off in a church in downtown Doylestown. There was a fire years ago. The Y was looking to relocate, and the Burpee Seed Farm, which sits on the plot of land that we're on now across the street from CB East High School, the farm was donated to the Y, and we opened up there. So the farmhouse still sits right at our front doors. We joke around, as we like to say, that the best seed that was planted there was the Y.
I think that's great. So when people, ask you just broadly, what's the mission of the Y? I know that you guys do an awful lot, but how would you boil that down and describe that?
Sure. So we do a lot, and the best way to boil it down would be to say that we want to serve the community with anything related to youth development, healthy living, or social responsibility. The main thing about the Y is we will turn no one away for their inability to pay for our services. We give away about $1.5 million in Central and Lower Bucks in financial assistance a year, and about a $4.5 million community benefit. So when I say that, when we identify community needs, things in youth development like preschool, summer camp, many of the kids that are participating in those services are on financial assistance so the families can keep working. We give free memberships to every seventh grader in our communities. And that's our way of saying we get that a seventh grader is at an age where they want to test their independence with their parents. They may be becoming latchkey for the first time. We as the Y want to help you with that. Bring them here, bring them to a safe place where they can learn healthy, respectful, responsible habits in a great environment. Second grade swim initiative is something that we take responsibility for. We tell the entire community, we'll teach your kids to swim. So every second grader across the county, we will test for free. If they fail the test, we'll give them a level 1 swim lesson. And then along the lines of other things like diabetes prevention, programs for cancer survivors, programs for teens, our programs for our special needs members. We recently opened up a new program for veterans. And all these things are to help people more feel a sense of normal in a community type setting.
Well, you guys obviously are deeply.
I can keep going, Ron. Sorry.
Deeply rooted in our community. I want to drill down a little bit and talk more about the Abilities program, because that's something that we're really interested in and obviously have provided financial support. So give us the length and breadth of the special needs programs that you guys run.
Yeah, and thanks for your support with that. That's meant a lot to us. A lot of the things we do in these families, we couldn't do without the support of our donors and people like you, so thank you. But we have over 250 participants in we call our Abilities programs. The benefit of that of the kids on financial assistance is probably about $300,000 a year. Many of these families are just looking to mainstream their children in a way that they can get involved in sports or camp or swimming. We opened up a new membership. We were the first in the country to actually start a membership for all of our Abilities members, where they can be mainstreamed and feel normal. And then we opened up a camp where the kids can be mainstreamed into summer camp too. So just many different opportunities for them to become involved, and just really it's a regular part of our Y.
So swimming, sports, weightlifting, I don't know.
All of that.
All the
yes.
summer programs, you have specialty tracks for kids who have special abilities.
I say some of our greatest athletes in our Y are those with the special abilities. We've had Special Olympians in our Y, and they typically possess more dedication and commitment to their sport than I've seen anyone else.
Well, anytime you do Abilities programs for young people, obviously you need to involve their families.
Right.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So the families need just as much of an outlet too. So offering the families the memberships is what we do. Trying to give them a place where they can decompress a little bit and be healthy. That's what the Y does. Giving these kids also an opportunity to not just assimilate in the Y, but have dances, have a club. Some of the best dances I've seen at the Y are the ones that that they have. Now this goes to, I keep saying kids, but we're talking about early teens to really adults that you'll see the Y, that this is their home, this is their place where they feel great, they feel normal, they really just socialize with all of us and the rest of the members.
And how about older adults, Zane? What does the Y do for the senior population?
So quite a bit. We have a very large senior population at the Y now. We've developed a membership pricing around the seniors. We've also developed a midday membership, which is a lower price because many of the seniors don't want to come when the building's crowded, but they're available midday. So we have that. We also started a program recently called Living Active, which is a pathway. And we define a pathway as something where people can use for free. And we take away all of the boundaries to membership, and we do that through donor support. But Living Active is primarily focused on seniors that aren't typically active. They may be home alone. There could be a component of loneliness that we want to get them into the Y and part of a community and part of health. And it's amazing what we've seen. We've seen a lot of seniors that have said, I would not have left my house if it wasn't for this. Now I feel like there's a place to be. So a lot of opportunities. We get involved with senior games, Olympics, different type workout programs. So a huge
Great
population.
stuff. I certainly know you're right across the street from CB West, so I'm sure all the athletes and young people from the high school spend a lot of time at the Y.
Yeah, in Lenape Middle School. So it's as 3 o'clock, it's like the kids just flood through the front doors, which is what we love. And remember the 7th grade membership, so the kids can come and they can work out, they can do homework, we have tutoring, they can be in the teen center, they can be on the skate park, they can loiter. We really don't care. As long as they're at the Y, that's where we want them doing safe things.
Come loiter at the Y.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I know you have a monster summer camp program.
We do.
We've had some interns placed there. Tell us a little bit about the length and breadth of your summer camp.
Well, it's the length goes all summer, but this year I don't know what summer means because the schools with all the snow dates they're backing it up. So we have currently with Lower Bucks 9 campsites across Bucks County, and we will literally serve thousands of kids who will spend the day with us. And a lot of times it's critical to families to have this service because they have to keep working during the summer, and there's nowhere for the kids to be. So we run all different programs in sports and art, STEM services, education services, anything to keep these kids active. We try to run the camps with a component of our core values of caring, honesty, respect, and responsibility. So they come out with some type of values. We reward those values. Look, there's nothing better than saying I was a Y kid that grew up in Y camp. A ton of us can do that. I can do it. But to say I grew up in Y camp and developed those memories and friendships, we value that.
I think I've seen a new building of yours right across the street from the Wood School.
Yeah.
Archbishop Wood, excuse me, on 263. What's going on down there in Warminster?
So Warminster was a great way of how a Y organically is built within a community. So the Warminster Township Parks and Rec actually called us a few years ago and asked us to start running recreational services within Warminster. And we were thrilled because Warminster is an area that we don't serve. So we started doing a Y Without Walls, which means we were running camps and renting basements and renting pools. Wherever we could rent space, we did. And people came, they joined in droves, and we gave away a significant amount of financial assistance in Warminster. So we decided this is probably a place where we could use a facility, but it's not ready for the big monster facility like we have in Doylestown. So we opened up 12,000 square feet right on the corner of York and Street Road in the shopping center. We've got about 2,400 members. It's been growing nicely. We gave about $65,000 worth of financial assistance last year. We still have campsites that we rent at the schools, and we rent the pools. So
what's your long-range plan there?
It's really up to the community. So there's a saying in the Y world that the Y will go nowhere where the community doesn't want us. So if the community continues to support us and the community continues to join, and we continue to provide that financial assistance there, and we continue to find donor support to support that financial assistance, then we'll go as big as we'd like. We've got great plans with Warminster Township, and we'd love to see a full service YMCA there. But that really, again, following that organic approach, it's really gonna depend on what we find in here. So I like to say now we're in our 12,000 square feet. We're like a young married couple, and we bought a condo. So
Okay.
we signed a 5-year lease, and if we stay there 5 years and then we move into a bigger house in 5 years, great for us.
Sounds
but that's
great.
not up to us. That's going to be depending on what the community wants.
Well, I know a couple of years ago you kind of merged with Lower Bucks, or took over the oversight of operations of the Lower Bucks Y. How's that proceeding?
It's great. We took over a management agreement of the Lower Bucks Y 4.5 years ago. The Y was financially in trouble. We've come a very long way. It's in good shape right now. That community's fantastic. They just love that Y. So our goal is to develop a plan that keeps that Y there for another 85 years. So the plan is to finish a merger. We're in the process of that now, and create just one Y across the county that can open up more opportunities to serve more people.
And so that goes for the Upper Bucks Y also?
We're talking with Upper Bucks Y now. There's nothing official in place right now, but yes, the plans would be that we would develop one YMCA across Bucks County. So we're developing those talks and continuing along those lines.
Zane, I want to make sure I ask you, if people want to get involved in volunteering at the Y, or if people are moved to make a donation, how do they do that?
Great question. So the Y, actually, a couple years ago, we started a program called Togetherhood. Togetherhood is actually the Y taking charge of providing volunteers anywhere across the county. So we're an organization with thousands and thousands of members. So whether it's Bucks Knocks Out Hunger, or Christ's Home needed cleaning, or anything that goes on in the community, we have an opportunity at the Y to say, we'll put a request out to our members. It's on our website. They can go and see what opportunities are there, and they could sign up to volunteer, and we'll send them out there. So it's our way of, again, trying to reach out to the community to provide volunteers. A lot of the things that I talked about before, when I talked about financial assistance, 7th grade membership, veterans programs, Empower You, Living Active, again, those are only possible through donor support. And what I don't think a lot of people realize about the Y, you identify the Y as a swim and gym, or just the health club on the corner. What we look at as the Y is that community serving organization. And I can comfortably say that about $4.5 million of community benefit will go out back to in free programming or financial assistance. We cannot do that without our donors. So there's many ways to get involved, whether your interest is in serving those people that can't afford to send their kids to camp, or serving cancer survivors or veterans. We probably have something that we're doing for free that needs that donor support. So consider the Y in the charitable giving, because we're doing quite a bit.
And people can find all that by going right on your website.
They can find it on the website, yeah. What I love about the Y is I always tell people, you can hold me completely accountable personally. I can introduce a face of a kid, or a face of a veteran, or a family member who was the beneficiary of your dollars. So you'll know exactly where they went. None of it goes to operational overhead. And that's the beauty of the Y. That's how we have our building, is we can pay for the overhead that way. But the rest of it goes out the door. And I'd be happy. I love when I have the opportunity to put a face to. I think we've done that with you,
Yeah.
in fact. So
Zane, in terms of big vision down the road, what's your vision for the Y here in Bucks County?
to serve all of the county, I'd like the Y to touch every pocket of Bucks County and every corner of Bucks County in some form or fashion, depending on how the communities would like us to be there. If they want a full service Y like we have in Doylestown, great. If they want a satellite, more of a smaller Y like we have in Warminster, great. If we just want to run camps on their fields, good. If we want to continue to identify community needs like diabetes prevention, like special needs, or like opioid addiction, which we're teaming up with other community organizations now to see how can the Y respond to this for our youth. How can we do some pre-education? How can we do some post-rehab services for them? So the overall vision is really just to touch the county in whatever way is right for that portion of the county. we'll let them decide, but we'll let them know that we're here to do whatever they like.
Well, we're lucky to have you. Since you're running all over the county,
Yeah.
that means you're always stopping for someplace unique to grab lunch. You got any good recommendations for me?
Oh man, Lower Bucks V&S Pizza on Oxford Valley Road is one of the best pieces of pizza in the county. I will give you that.
Okay, and here in Central Bucks?
Oh, geez, you're putting me on the spot. We love Chambers in Central Bucks. I always love getting a sandwich at Chambers in Central Bucks.
Okay, good. Zane, thanks for the great work you do in our Bucks County community. Thanks for joining me today to share your experience and knowledge leading the YMCA. And thank you to our listeners for your involvement in our community. Visit our Facebook page and like us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Join the conversation.
Foundation's community partnership believes that when we join forces, we're stronger. We are better able to support the behavioral health and human service needs of children and young adults in Bucks County. Join us again for FCP Conversations Online. Let's go farther together.